signaling or conditioned reinforcers, and however you want them. There's another value that we've certainly realized in the obedience world.
Not family, not strangers, something between.
Obedience world of insulating your behaviors from like Pavlovian responses or conflicts with Pavlovian responses or anticipatory responses. And by that I mean is if my dog does a behavior and I throw a ball for it, my dog does a behavior and I throw a ball for it, unsignaled, right? My dog's going to do behavior and there's going to be a whole bunch of anticipatory behavior ready. There's there's Pavlovian tension in the body, which can affect their ability to do the behavior. Indications in detection are no different.
A conflict comes
Yes,
because of understanding, not because of lack of understanding.
exactly right. Yeah, the straight up misbehavior of organisms.
I was
Like
just
Freeland
going to
says,
say,
right?
and I'm going to do an article on the misbehavior of detection dogs based on the misbehavior.
It's beautiful, and we see it all the time. And if you're using markers, it allows you, the dog waits for the down, then the release, defer, especially predatory rewards, a little bit, 2-second break, and then toss the reward or whatever. And now that behavior is protected from a lot of that anticipatory stuff or the Pavlovian conditioning. That's giant. We see it in obedience, and it's absolutely there in detection.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
the ball down is definitely giant.
Yeah.
Like it is you must understand if you don't like.
Yep.
So that leads me to Ivan. Please describe to people what you told us last night about how you help people with their condition reinforcers using markers and not telegraphing before they do it. So give us a little of your story and how you did that.
This was brilliant.
Yeah, so I came up finally with, so I mean, just to put some picture in everybody's head. Let's say you're making a dog to give you good picture, healing eye contact, and you just throw the ball, as Michael said. The moment you have that 100% devotion, and then you do it a few times, and now the dog understands that he's not going to be prepared to grab the ball. And now there is a problem, there is a conflict. What do? Do I get ready for the ball? Do I keep watching? Because if I don't keep watching, I'm not getting the ball. But if I keep watching, and little brain goes places simply because it's motivated and simply because it understands.
Yeah. It's a, to your saying, it's a picture of understanding.
Right? And even if you say, well, but I'm gonna use a release signal, when that release signal is simultaneously in the
Glesia.
order of
Glesia.
order, meaning the signal and the ball come at the same time. The release doesn't give you the information, therefore you're not prepared anyway, so you're just as bad as if you don't say that you're free.
Yes.
And so yeah, we've tried, and Michael has done, and everybody that understands that problem have done many things to try to help a handler, and it's very difficult. I have put electric collar on a person just so they don't, and when I put the electric collar, oddly enough, they're like, definitely not doing it. But then they're like, like Mr. Roboto. And it's like, okay. So anyway, what I came up with, because like how we were talking, and so Michael's approach was, again, recognizing the same problem. And it was like, okay, before you do that, take a couple of steps back. But it's still, there's those hands are still moving. Yes. So I've been doing this now probably for the last couple of years. It's like, give the release, clap 3 times, and only then you're allowed to get the toy. And that's the break that but I had to get the hands busy. The first time I did it, it was like, wow, this is genius. I was like just amazed. And then you see them, but it's so hard when you're in this. It is already a habit, and that habit can become very quickly a habit. It's like, okay, ah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that was funny.
Yep.
It's a very good one.
Well, because obviously, like we're all talking about, people constantly, by a natural mentality as a human being, want to get ready to reward their dog. They want to give them their thing.
They're doing all their
It's
preparatory
good
behavior.
intentions, no question.
Exactly. So they can't help themselves but reach or telegraph where the reward location's at. And that's why I love the idea of, like you said, occupying the hand. So give the release. So free, clap 3 times.
Because we
And
were
then you can grab it.
we both were doing this years back where so no, hold your
Grab your pants. Yeah.
You know, it still was.
Yeah. People would still be like,
Right, I'm grabbing my pants.
Don't shit my pocket. Yep. But in that is the, like embedded in all that is of course us trying to get a delay between the release and the production of the reward. Yeah, you need a little delay there. But so that's what the signaling behaviors prepare the dog to receive it. So the dog has to stop, doesn't have to worry about where it's coming from. It's coming. Concentrate on the behavior. When you hear this release, then you can start worrying about where it's coming from. But if there's not enough delay, the dog is constantly worrying about where it's coming from.
Especially the higher motivated the dog, the anticipation level is through the roof.
It's like the tiniest detail of such a big difference in training you would have.
Yeah, it definitely was, obviously I'll be using that with some of our students. Natalie and I are always trying to work on people for not telegraphing or reaching for
Plus
the
you have
reward.
a new secondary
Usang
reinforcement.
gala.
Correct, that's what I was laughing, the clapping. Yep, the dogs will be like,
When people applaud your dog,
Dogs,
it's right.
yeah.
The dog gets
All right, on to another question. This one's going to be an interesting one. Dude, are there dogs with ADHD?
I don't know. They're dogs that manifest like they have it, right?
Right.
So
It's like you definitely can see dogs acting very different than normal majority of dogs. But how do you
how did you measure?
diagnose
Yeah.
that? And how do you put it in that category of ADHD
Yeah.
or something else?
Well, I think it doesn't really matter, like if they have the syndrome,
Glesia.
like or not, and whether it's the exact same thing we see in human beings. They're definitely dogs that have a harder time concentrating. They're easily distracted. They have energy, and they're not persistent at tasks naturally.
Right.
They manifesting like I'm doing this for a second, then I'm doing that for a second, I'm doing that for a second, and then it's not like they go like I'm on a mission with purpose kind of thing. And those dogs present challenges in training.
For most trainers, especially the ones that are go trainers
Yeah.
and not patient and not taking variable approaches to see, then this can actually turn into a very sad story actually, I'm thinking because you can really, like I bet you some trainers and he's just screwing with me, he's just
Glesia.
Oh yeah, when they start
bouncing
hammering
with
them,
me,
yeah.
Glesia.
exactly.
Pato.
And I'm gonna just stop them without understates. It can be,
Glesia.
but
Pato.
it's hard to know
Come here.
specifically ADHD. I don't even know how exactly gets diagnosed in humans, really.
I don't either. So, we're not going to be experts on that.
Yeah.
But I think so the dogs that manifest as if they might have that, let's just say we have a dog that has those difficulties in learning.
Yeah.
We both have tons of dogs like that over the years, and he's right. It's just patience and focus and incremental building of focus and concentration, right? You have to have the patience to show the dog that persisting on a task and maintaining focus on a specific task is what gets you the things that you want. And I don't know of any dogs like that were motivated, right? That couldn't be taught to focus. And maybe there's dogs that do it more naturally.